Hello, my name is Andrew Collins and I'm a Telly addict. Now, I haven't watched a new episode of Breaking Bad yet as, ironically, I've been too busy writing this. It's my treat for when I get home. So do you mind if we just rattle through it?
So without further ado...
Saturday Night TV has been saved.
And yet 60% of us are overweight.
At last, a documentary about obesity. And I haven't seen the last episode of Southcliffe yet, so don't tell me who shot all those people. Here's your moment of zen. Actually, I'm still gripped by the fractured time frame in Southcliffe. I mean, did this bit happen before the shooting or after? That's the fun of it. Sometimes you're watching a bit that happened after, and it'll cut to a bit that happened before. You just have to keep your wits about you. Oh, and I haven't seen the final part yet, so don't tell me who shot all those people. Now, last week, one bright spark informed me that I wasn't qualified to review a new episode of New Tricks because I hadn't watched all of the other 77 episodes.
If the dream is going to happen, it has to happen right now. This is for everything.
Well, I've just finished watching all 76 episodes of Friday Night Lights, thanks to the box set scheduling dedication of Sky Atlantic. So I hope I'm qualified to review the final one. Most of it seemed to be in slow motion. Oh, it's about high school football. But a long-running drama about the American kind of football with all the intervals and the armour, a sport which favours not just the brave but apparently the super handsome, should enchant and enthrall me for a solid year and a half, is TV alchemy. That ball's going to take ages, isn't it? Well, whether or not the East Dillon Lions win state is riding on it. No spoilers, even though this final episode aired on NBC in the States in February 2011. But in the end, it wasn't about football. It never was. Those who, like me, have lived the ups and the downs of the fancy Panthers and the underdog Lions for a concertinaed 5 years may suddenly feel bereft.
We got ourselves a quarterback, Coach.
It seems an epoch ago when Coach Taylor wore blue, and I'd forgotten all about the post-Katrina quarterback voodoo and his Tyra breaking up with Tim Riggins. Don't do it! And Jason's still in hospital. But let's not dwell on the past. Under the strong leadership of Peter Berg, with a truly exceptional young cast led by appropriate adults Kyle Chandler and Connie Britton, and with consistently true writing that kept it adult even when the view was obscured by suds, Friday Night Lights takes its place at the top table, alongside the more fashionable cable shows, including Breaking Bad. And it knew instinctively how to end, with Tim and Billy Riggins literally laying foundations for the future and sharing a special beer which seems never to add a single pound to Taylor Kitsch's midriff. And then, the catchphrase.
Texas forever. Texas forever.
From clear eyes and full hearts to magpie eyes and full stomachs. The Men Who Made Us Thin is investigative presenter Jacques Peretti's follow-up to last year's The Men Who Made Us Fat, although it should have been called The Men Who Made Us Fatter.
I'm Jacques Peretti, and in this series I'm going to investigate the men who've made their fortunes by selling us the dream of being thin through diets, and left us fatter than ever.
As with the inventors and marketeers of high fructose corn syrup and supersizing in The Men Who Made Us Fat, the Men Who Made Us Thin are all Americans, like Louis Dublin, chief actuary for MetLife Insurance, who did this in 1941.
Dublin drew up a chart to show how much he thought customers should weigh to avoid an early death. He based it on their weight between the ages of 25 and 30. In effect, what Dublin did was to make the weight at which you're considered too heavy much lower. Instead of just a few people, suddenly half the American population was reclassified as overweight.
Americans. They create Friday Night Lights and they ruin lives. Nobody's perfect. Unfortunately, the American Louis Dublin is dead, so Peretti can't go after him. However, the American Richard Samba, finance director for the multi-million-dollar Weight Watchers Corporation between 1968 and 1993, is alive and well honest.
Even using Weight Watchers' own statistics, the very best after 5 years, 16% of people have maintained their goal weight. I mean, that's hardly anyone. It's sort of a total failure. And I just wonder how on earth it is a business that can be so huge, can be based on patent failure.
Well, but they're successful because the other 84% have to come back and do it again. That's where your business comes from.
Touchdown! I like Peretti's style. He asks difficult questions but with a smile, and sometimes manages to penetrate the corporate force field. And then he gets all excited and runs outside.
Richard was the finance director of Weight Watchers for 25 years, and he said to me, if diets worked, we wouldn't have a business because the customer wouldn't come back. But because they fail, they keep coming back.
Yeah, we know. We just saw him say that to you. There was some good archive. Here's Bernice Weston, head of Weight Watchers UK in the Twiggy aspirant 60s, who, again, deserves points for honesty.
Now, what about the group therapy? Why is that important?
It's not only important, it's the thing that makes the other thing work. Any diet will help you lose weight. It is because I believe that no fat person can do it alone. When it comes to eating, fat people are basically very stupid.
Thank you.
Actually, how many points is a bowl of honesty worth? Now, I was pleased to see the belated return of The Field of Blood to BBC Two, the 80s set Glasgow newspaper noir based on crime novels I've not read by Denise Mina. The era-appropriate theme music almost made up for the off-putting title they're now saddled with.
Like a born again.
Adapted and directed by Taggart, Rebus, Sea of Souls veteran David Kane, this latest two-parter moves the action forward, and Jade Johnson's copygirl is now a reporter for the institutionally sexist Daily News.
A good old-fashioned murder and you missed it. There's a minor strike on as well, just in case you haven't noticed.
Is there? Is there really?
If you want to make yourself useful, at least bend over and give the sideliners somewhere to stick their pens.
There's been a murder. But the police procedural part isn't what I like about the show. I'm interested in the reconstruction of an unreconstructed 80s provincial newspaper office. You know, before computers ruined everything.
Who's the new owner?
McCallum International. I took over the Examiner in Manchester, started editing on computers, printing up off-site at a fraction of the cost.
Holy shit.
Printing colour.
Colour?
Mm-hmm. Typing through 3 sheets and 2 carbons. It's a dying skill, boys.
The great Brian Pettifer from Get Some In there. Now, some of you will be saying, enough of the hot metal print trade fetishism, get back to the case that Jade's going to crack using nothing more than her innate nous and a CND badge. But I wouldn't mind if Field of Blood spent more time in the office and less of it solving crimes. This is more like it. Here's hard-nosed Daily News editor, token Englishman, and in the interest of full disclosure, a man with whom I've had a coffee, David Morrissey, re-nosing a piece on a day in the life of a miner's wife.
I don't want solidarity, I want dirt. The NUM's money's been sequestered. They can't put it in banks. You know, Red Willie's moving his money around in suitcases so the government can't get their hands on it. You find out exactly where that money's going. And if you can't, you just make up some less than flattering theories about what they're doing with it. Go on.
If you can convey compromised ideology by rubbing your hands, I think he just did it. Uh-oh, I was working in a newspaper in the 80s when this happened too.
Get your old man balls off that chair.
This is my desk. This has always been my desk.
We need it for training.
A BBC Scotland production, Field of Blood has been actually Glasgow kissed by a whole line of doughty Scottish actors like Pettifer, Ford Kiernan, David Heyman, Matt Costello and Ron Donachie. And it's a while since Barrowlands looked this good. The whole thing feels a lot less preening than the standard contemporary set crime drama. And it was kind of nice to remember how red-blooded the politics used to be. Maybe Ed Miliband should iPlayer it on holiday. I should probably point out that BBC One's That Puppet game show, which is a new show made this century, was not produced by BBC Scotland.
Come on, hot dogs, make yourself known.
Hello, I'm Huey Hot Dog and I support Partick Thistle.
Hello, I'm Margaret and I live for golf.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, I'm Isla.
Hello, I'm Duncan and I'll toss you like a caber.
What green my hair, Glasgow, get?
I'm Hamish and I fry anything apart from a hot dog.